Steam Deck is sold out in the US and Canada. And basically all Steam Deck models, both the OLED variants and the discontinued LCD version, they're completely sold out in Valve in Valve's official stores as of February 10th. This is just a few days after Valve had to delay Steam Machine, Steam Frame, and Steam Controller, I guess, is also delayed, although they didn't say anything. And it was all because of the AI slopification of everything. You can still get from Valve's official store in other countries, but not in the US and Canada. And I'm curious what you guys, like, what is your first reaction when hearing about this? Do you think that this is because of the RAM shortage? Do you think that this is because of tariffs and maybe they finally ran out of, Steam Decks in a warehouse here and they're like, I don't want to import anymore because we're going to have to pay a bunch of money and then we would have to raise the price. And the one thing that people always say about the Steam Deck, it's the cheapest one. So what do you guys think about that? Rich?
Yeah, I'm reticent to speculate here. I mean, like, the obvious kind of thing here is the RAM. Like, that's the biggest price sensitivity in the marketplace right now, right? So that's the obvious thing, but I'm reticent to speculate. I actually kind of think it lets Valve off the hook to speculate here, not to impede anyone else's speculation, because I want to hear it all, right? But, like, why hasn't Valve said anything, right? Like, Valve has been contacted by now by, I'm sure, by Gaming on Linux, and they haven't said anything. And it was just last week that I was giving Valve kudos for being, like, transparent with regard to the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame. Delay or not delay, whatever you call it. But I liked the messaging that they had there. And I think this is kind of back to typical Valve here with, like, we'll see what we see. And it's, it's not our job to let you know. We'll let you know when we're ready, and that's it. And I kind of think that that's a little bit lame of Valve. I would like Valve to kind of come out and say, here's the reason, here's our plan, here's what we're going to let you know. What do you think?
I think that this, I often will give Valve kudos because they're a privately held company. They're not publicly traded, and that gives them advantages for doing the right thing that otherwise stockholders will usually get in the way of. This feels like something where they would be forced to tell the stockholders, which would then become public, why this is happening, and they're not, and they don't have to because they're a privately held company. And so, like, it's a double-edged sword, it cuts both ways. Russ, what do you think?
So I don't think it's tariff related because Komodo, like the website that they sell for Japan, it's also sold out. So it's not just US and Canada, it's also Asia. So yeah, so it makes me think that it's not tariff related, probably something to do with RAM or hardware. But I completely agree with Rich. It's like, why can they be transparent or semi-transparent, honestly, about the Steam Machine delays, right? But they can't say anything about this. Like, how hard is it to be like, yeah, we're also experiencing the same shortage that the rest of the industry is? Like, there's no harm in saying that. I don't know what's up with that. To be fair, too, though, like, I never know when a Lenovo or an Asus handheld is going to be in stock, too. Like, they're so bad in letting us know when something is going to be in stock, other than just going to Best Buy and hoping it's there. If you go on their website, that's a nightmare. And so I don't think this is anything unique, but it's just strange coming from Valve. I guess there was one small moment with the OLEDs where they did go out of stock at some point. This is like years ago. But ever since then, it's always been fully in stock. So yeah, I would like to just hear something. But
and if I recall correctly, that may have been one model of the OLED, or was it all that were?
I think it was the 512 or something. Yeah. The thing is, it's like, initially, if it wasn't for the RAM, I'd be like, oh, cool, Steam Deck 2's coming,
Right.
But no, that's definitely not
No
it.
way.
So, yeah.
I heard some crazy news for Steam Deck 2. It's a weird thing.
You're just going to drop that?
All right, moving on.
What are you doing to us?
I don't know. In a second, Gabe's gonna bust into his garage with a crowbar.
I don't believe it for what it's worth, so there's no sense in speculating.
Okay, all right.
Sorry for saying that.
I heard some crazy
things, and I don't believe it at all.
But...
Just gonna leave it that there. I do think it is RAM and NAND related to a degree. I don't know if they need to work out contracts or whatnot,
right,
or wait for some type of swell of scheduling to build up before they can get some in. It's likely that we're going to see prices change when they do come in. I would say that that's probably somewhat likely or true. So we'll wait and see it happen. But it's really tight. The entire year for 2027, DRAM is just like occupied. And NAND is also extremely challenged as well. So these are like two big components here.
You know, it's unfortunate, right? This Rampocalypse, one of the things I kind of alluded to last week was this value proposition between consoles and PCs. And I know that there are some folks that are like, yeah, these are two different markets. They're not the same thing, which they're not wrong, right? Like, those folks are not wrong. But there was this feeling, even before the Steam Deck, that like PCs are like becoming the gaming platform. And then the Steam Deck accelerated that, and you know, Steam's growth since then accelerated that. And I don't think that's going away. I think Steam is going to continue kind of its trajectory that it's had, but the pricing model that we were used to with consoles was consoles are a better value at the beginning of the generation. Am I saying that right? Yes. And then PCs become a better value at the end of the console generation, and you're getting a lot more for your money. And we were getting to a place where PCs might just be the better value at the beginning and the end. And now it's like PCs are, even at the end of this, we're in the back half of the PS5 generation. Even now, maybe the PCs aren't the better value at this point in time, which kind of sucks.
I will say one thing real quick, and I'm only saying it to, you know, to beat the comments ahead of time that people always, the console, the people who are like, console is a better value, they always tend to forget that you also have to pay for online, and you have to pay for like extra stuff that you don't have to. Well, I guess you don't have to on console, but almost everybody does. But on PC, you don't have to pay for any of that. There isn't any of that, and that's just something else. What were you going to say? Oh, go ahead, Rich.
Just, and to clarify a little further, I'm not even talking about this up until what I was just saying with like most recently. But what I meant was historically, right? Like PS3, PS4, at the beginning of those generations, those were like really good values for the money. But yeah, it's a little bit different now.
Russ, you were going to say something a second ago?
No, I just, to piggyback on Rich, I mean, like even the PS2 as a DVD player, like that was a big sell back then. And so there's always been moments where the console just makes a lot of sense as a consumer product compared to a PC. And now we're getting to the point where it's just tough all over, I think.
It is. All right, well, let us know. Go ahead, Carrie.
Yeah, before we head off, I just want to add one more thing. If anyone wants a Steam Deck OLED, I have one for sale, just a little bit of OLED burn on it. Nothing noticeable.
If you're curious,
Someone will.
Yeah, they would. If you guys are curious what we're talking about and why we all laughed at that, Carrie, send me a link to the video so that I can put that in the show notes for people, because it's a really good video where he's ruined a Steam Deck.
Imagine like Carrie's like, oh, you want me to like autograph that? They're like, no need.
Yeah.
Your signature is on here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Front and center.
There you go. Well, you know what? Let us know what you guys think about Steam Deck being sold out. And you know what's even more important? Let us know what you think the secret news that Carrie won't tell any of us is in the comments section down below about Steam Deck 2.